The Green Bay Packers suck. It's science. I've tested it over and over again, and it keeps coming back. They blow. Welcome in to Bears Latest, Chicago Bears Latest, Fan Art Sports. I'm Dan Levy. I'm the guy who's going to chat with you about all things Chicago Bears. We're talking all things Bears content, anything that goes down at the training camp, Hallis Hall, any rumors, any trades, anything of that nature, free agent stuff, draft stuff, all the goods, anything that's coming out of the Hallis Hall area, all through Dick Gillane, we will be bringing to you on this channel. So subscribe, comment, like, all the good stuff. As you can see, we got a really good show coming up for you. Tyreek Stevenson, that name is bubbling up again. We got issues. Caleb Williams talked to the media today. He says he sees progress. Dennis Allen has a scary look when it comes to talking about his defense. The Bears will be honoring Mongo and Virginia McCaskey, and we got it all for you right here on this program. First and foremost, welcome into the program. Again, I'm Dan Levy. Green Bay Packers suck. Just throwing that in, no problem. Right now, today, in training camp, during red zone drills, the Bears defense rolled out a noticeably different look to the secondary, and Tyreek Stevenson, absent from his usual cornerback stop. The Nation Wright, who had been working at right corner, was also pulled from first-team reps. Terrell Smith, back from missing early camp time, was still running with backups. Instead, the Bears gave first-team looks to Shaun Wade and Nick McLeod, a notable shift, and for the first time, both had seen reps with the starters in camp. Wade was primarily out there due to dime package formations, and defensive coordinator Dennis Allen favors their versatility. When speaking about the competition, Dennis Allen praised the recent improvement across the DB group. He highlighted McLeod's development, saying here's a guy that in the spring I wasn't sure exactly what he was going to be, but he came back in great shape, and he's doing all the things that a DB coach is looking for him to do. He also made it clear that the number 2 quarterback spot is completely up for grabs. You saw it out there today. He said, I think that's how you develop the very best defense that you can. Create as much competition as you can and let the tape make the decision. As for Tyreek Stevenson with the second team unit, he allowed a touchdown to Durham Smythe on a zone coverage breakdown and gave up another catch in practice after a rocky 2024 season. Stevenson is going down a sliding pole down the depth chart and, at the very least, being pushed harder than ever before. Look, we know that last season was a rough season, and I've said it in other shows of this one before. We try to forget what happened last year because that was just a cluster FU, you know what that means. Some things, though, we got to keep an eye out for. We've been doing it with Caleb Williams. Everybody's been doing it. The national media has been going on. Well, we're seeing the same things. He's not getting the right reads. He's throwing picks away. He's in his head. Those are fixable things. Tyreek Stevenson has tangibles, too. He's got things that you can't teach. That's why we brought him in. That's why he was a player that everybody was pumped about. But the things that you can change from people is what's going on in their head. Tyreek Stevenson came up lame last season, especially just before a Hail Mary play, which would have won the Bears another win and may have even possibly stopped a lot of what happened last season. All in the Hail Mary play. They were looking for another win after coming back from Europe against the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels was the first showdown between Jaden and Caleb Williams. It all came down to a Hail Mary play, and Tyreek Stevenson, instead of being there for the Hail Mary and being in his spot, you know it, I know it, he was talking to the fans and totally messed up, which allowed for a poor spot and a tip into the hands of the Commanders, and they won that game. And after that, it was a downward spiral for the Bears, who never saw a win until the last game against the Green Bay Packers, which resulted, and it's hard to say it out loud, but it's all different now. Offensive coordinator gone, and the first time in franchise history, we lost a head coach in Matt Eberflus. So Tyreek Stevenson is so lucky that Caleb Williams is the real focus of what's going on the roster. Ben Johnson's number 1, but Caleb Williams, what's happening with that, is number 2. The other thing that we've talked about was defensive woes. What's happening with this D? What are we going to get to? What are we seeing here? And what we're seeing here is a lack of progress with Tyreek Stevenson. Now, again, it's only just training camp. It's only the second week. There's not a lot to say. But after a full week of seeing what everybody's doing, this isn't a knee-jerk reaction. This is Dennis Allen saying, I'm seeing what's going on, and I don't like it. I think somebody else could be in this first team off defense, and it's not you. So that is concerning for Tyreek Stevenson, especially somebody that was invested as much as he was, and what the Bears were invested in. That is not a good look. This is a new era of accountability. After a horrible season, again, Tyreek Stevenson may find himself needing a fight for not just a starting job, but he might get cut. Jobs at House Hall are not going to be handed out. And this is a new coaching staff, a new culture. And for players like Stevenson, it's a clear signal that nothing is guaranteed and there's nothing better than a battle for spots. So here's Dennis Allen speaking today of what his plans are and what his thoughts are with this defense.
The way that we're going to play defense, the speed, the violence, the aggressiveness, how we're going to get up and challenge. I think that's been the biggest thing, and I've seen improvements in that regard. I think our coverage aspect. I think Ben mentioned this the other day in his press conference, but the coverage aspect has been a lot more clean, a lot stickier than it was in the spring.
True.
So that's good to see, and that's a big part of what we do.
It's huge. That's a big thing of what they do. And as for questions about is there a competition between the Bears' offense and defense, Dennis Allen had a pretty good response to that one as well.
I don't know that I necessarily quite look at it like that.
But we do.
Against each other.
We do.
Here's what my job is. My job is to put the best freaking defense on the field. And so I'm not really focused a lot on what we're seeing offensively or how they're doing things offensively. Obviously, the National Football League is a highly, highly competitive league. So every day that we go out there, we're always competing. And so I just look at it as I'm trying to coach these guys to be the best versions of themselves that they can be. And so therefore we can put the best product out on the field we can.
Oh my God, yes. I don't know what it is, but tell me if I'm wrong, but I love hearing that guy speak. I love that he put the word violence in it, that's what defense is. It's going to be about violence. And as far as being compared to the offense, look, dude, we didn't even think your defense was going to be that good this season. Going into this offseason and going into training camp, we had a lot of questions about what this defense is, who's going to be there, what the edge rushers are, what it's going to look like, especially to a Ben Johnson offense that was so highly touted. And your defense, filled with question marks, is crushing the offense. You are making this the most difficult days for Caleb Williams and that offense. And the fact that this defense is going to get stronger and harder and squeeze possibly out Tyreek Stevenson, I love hearing this. As a Bears person, I mean, we've grown up, if you've been a Bears fan, especially up until this point, we're not used to having an offense. We're not used to counting on an offense as something that's going to carry us through. We're defense. We are running down your throat. We are sticking in the mouth. We are crushing our opponents. And to know that this is a culture that's coming back, the fact that we are this hyped up about an offense and the defense might even be better than this offense makes the real Bears fan so happy. The smash mouth, run it down, do what you got to do. The defense that is just going to crush and just bring you back. Shades of Brian Urlacher, shades of Singletary, Steve McMichael, rest in peace. And we'll talk about him in a little bit. This is the kind of development you want to see and you want to have. And as far as what we're seeing from Tyreek Stevenson, I'm good if that guy's gone. I'm good if we can find somebody else that can make up for him. But just hearing Dennis Allen speak, and I'm going to try to bring more audio of him when I get it because, oh my God, I love hearing that. I love knowing that that's what's possibly coming for this defense. And as, again, we're only in the second week of this training camp, but wait till we start doing shared practices. Wait till the preseason starts. I know everybody's watching the offense. I know we're all kind of curious about Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. But a guilty pleasure. What's going on with this defense? How's it going to look? What is Jaquan Brisker going to look like? What is Kyler going to look like? I mean, Kyler Gordon, what is that going to look like when that dude unleashes Spider-Man again? What is Spider-Man going to be in this defense? We're here for it. I'm down with it. Now moving on to Caleb Williams, and questions for him. It's been a rough week. Started to kind of turn it on a little bit. But Caleb Williams spoke to the media today, and he talked about what kind of progress he is seeing for himself.
I think as of right now, I think I'm rolling. I'm pretty smooth with it as of right now. Obviously, you want to be 100% when you're out there with the calls and hearing it and making sure. There's so many words that we have in our playbook, and you put so many words together that sometimes they kind of sound the same. So just when you hear a play, you start to hear the play. It's like, okay, I know what the play is, and so. And
Good.
I know exactly what we have. So, it comes down to just a little bit more studying. It comes down to a little bit more practicing, a lot more reps and things like that over time. So, I think that's where it is. I think that's where, it's at right now. And, we're going to keep progressing. I'm going to keep progressing and getting after it.
See, now that's what you want to hear from your franchise quarterback. Nothing struggling. He's not afraid right now. Everything that we said, he's probably in his head. It doesn't sound like it, and if you watch that press conference today, it didn't look like that. That dude understands what's going on. He understands the pressure. He knows that this is just going to be a blitz of an offensive playbook coming in down his way, and he understands it. And he actually had more to say when it comes to the hard work that's going into it.
Every year is going to be a start fresh year.
Yes.
In that sense, but with Ben, him and I are going to be here, for a while.
Hope so.
That's the plan, and
hope so.
There's going to be carryover from now on, but it's different. It's a whole new playbook, different terminology, different reads, different footwork, and different things like that. So it was a lot, and it's still going to always be a lot. That's a part of playing this position, and so being able to go out there and handle it all is. What we get paid to do. It's our job.
See, now that's the stuff you want to hear from your starting quarterback. He understands that there's work. He understands that there's carryover. And again, for all you guys out there questioning Caleb Williams, what's this team going to be? What's he going to be? Pretty easy to break that one down. We don't know. We don't know. They are literally giving him the entire offense, and he is going through it, and Ben Johnson is intense, and he's yelling and screaming at him, and Caleb is taking it. And just remember, once we start to figure out what Caleb is good at, once Ben Johnson's got a sense of this is what he's really good at, they're going to start to bring that offensive playbook down to digestible stuff that he's doing best, and they're going to build around that. So Caleb is going to have time to adjust that. Another thing that he addressed, which I love, is that Caleb is not just sitting there moping, but he is out there bonding with teammates. They asked him what he's got going on. And he said that he's been going out with certain teammates trying to get, become friends and do some bonding stuff, heading to downtown Chicago and have some nights, spend some quality time with Colston Loveland, the second round, the first pick for the Bears, the rookie tight end, and also spending time throwing passes to Luther Burden III, and quickly proving that all those guys are belonging on the first team. Again, Loveland, the 10th overall pick, missed time in the offseason, but he's starting to get it. And in Caleb's words, he said he's a smart cat. We've hung out a few times, but in that bond, I know what he's doing. The other day, I threw a ball that slipped out of my hand a bit, and he still went up and got it. Big catch. Things like that build belief that when the ball goes up, it's his. As far as Luther Burden is concerned, we have a new wrinkle a day, he says. Right now, it's really important that everybody knows what to do in the situations, and I think guys have been doing a really good job of that. So as far as the bonding is concerned with those guys, I'm loving that Caleb Williams is spending time with these guys. I'm loving that there's a bond there. And again, with Colston Loveland, that is just another great option for Caleb to rely on. Not just having Cole Kmet, not just having DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, which, by the way, if you're a Bears fan and you're not super excited about the tandem, the possibility of two wide receivers going 1,000+ yards this season in DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, I got some Kool-Aid for you to drink. It is delicious. These are things that we are excited about as we make our way into this season. Some other things that you want to get a heads up for that they are doing, well, they're going to be honoring and paying tribute to some Bears, people that we've lost last season. First and foremost, they are going to honor Steve Mongo McMichael. My Lord, what that guy was to this team, what he was to this city, is amazing. And with a powerful tribute throughout the 2025 season, the team announced that they'll be wearing a number 76 decal on their helmets to represent McMichael's iconic jersey number, and that number will also be painted on the grass at Soldier Field during Bears home games. It's a tribute fitting for one of the fiercest defenders the league has ever seen. Again, In his 15-year NFL career, 13 in Chicago, he totaled 95 sacks, 13 forced fumbles, 17 fumble recoveries, and played in over 200 games. Two-time Pro Bowler, four-time All-Pro, and known for his relentless motor and tough-as-nails attitude. Steve McMichael did so much and died in such a rough way. And I live in the same area as Steve McMichael. He lived about just a few miles west of where I live. So I know exactly who Steve McMichael was. I know the player that he was. I got to meet him on a few occasions, being a radio guy here in Chicago and covering the team for as long as I have. This is a very cool thing that they're doing for Steve McMichael, and it's well-deserved. Another one that they're honoring is Virginia Hallis McCaskey, one of the original owners, the last one who just passed away during the season, the longtime owner and the daughter of George Hallis. This one's interesting. The players are going to wear a football-shaped patch with her initials on their jerseys throughout the season. And the other one, which I like, Bears chairman George McCaskey shared a personal story saying that his mother preferred uniform consistency. No throwbacks, no alternates. She believed the team should wear the same uniform home and away. And quote, he said that she said to me many times, if it were up to me, we'd have the same uniform at home, same uniform away. I'm thinking, well, it's up to you, Mom, is what George said. So in honor, the team will forego throwback jerseys this year, sticking to one look as a nod to her wishes and legacy. And to be honest, I'm good with that. I am so tired of these throwback jerseys and these novelty items just so they could sell more merchandise. The Chicago Bears are printing money. They're about to possibly get an entire new location, which is going to be so sweet if they get that one on tonight's. And if it doesn't work out, they'll get something in Chicago. The Bears are not hurting for money. Do something cool this year. Stop with the throwback jerseys. Stop with the alternate jerseys. As much as I love the orange ones, get back to who Chicago was. Get back to the nitty-gritty. And if we could see some sort of a little bit of some fabric from what 85 was with a tough defense and an amazing offense, I think we're really in for what could be a very, very special season. Once again, I want to say bear down to my fellow Bears fans out there. F Green Bay, they suck. And follow me on social media at Bass On Air, BASS On Air. That's going to do it for us on Bears Latest here on Fan Art Sports. I'm Dan Levy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. I will chat it up with you in the YouTube comment section. Hit the bell for notifications on when the next one launches. And we'll see you right here on the same Bears channel, the same Bear place, cursing out all those Green Bay Packer fans who dare say the words anything against the Chicago Bears. Green Bay sucks. Bear down. See you guys again.